Go ahead.
Hi, I am Myles, and I'm here to let everyone know that I don't have a sugar daddy. I never had a sugar daddy. If I wanted a sugar daddy, yes, I could probably go out and get one because I'm what? Sickening. You will never have a sugar daddy because you are not that type of girl. Baby, everything I have in life, I work for and I've built myself from the ground up. You fucking bitch. Thanks for joining us today. I'm here with Jake and Amber.
I am obsessed with mustard. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that out loud.
Not the mustard quote.
And we're here with Amber.
Hello.
We're digging through the back catalogs for our Thorgy quotes now.
I love how Amber's our residential straight man in that there is no reference to Drag Race in any intro.
You know what? Thank God for that. We need at least one person with a discernible personality.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is Questions and Queer-ies, a podcast where three queers talk about whatever they want to talk about, and we seem to be on a trend of just wanting to talk about Drag Race. So today we're going to talk about episode 4, She's a Super Tease, which doesn't have anything to do with a bodily orifice. So we've broken that trend.
Wow. Coming in strong.
Listen,
doing great.
They are versatile. This is the vulnerability the judges are looking for.
So, general thoughts on this episode?
Yeah. It's not Drag Race without some rigomoris, and that was
rigomoris, girl,
shown today, which we'll get into later.
Yep, we will talk all about that.
But fun acting challenge. It's been a while since a little skit scat has made me laugh on Drag Race. So I'm glad we are getting back to quality content.
Yes.
Because we all know how great Social Media the musical was. And it's good to see that there are actually entertaining challenges being provided on the season again. So glad for that. And right off the top of the page, the queens walk in. And Angie does the thing which I hate because every Drag Race season starts with this. And Angie goes, June is gone, which means the competition finally has started. Shit's getting real. And I'm like,
bitches are actually gonna go home.
Right? Like shit wasn't real when both Orion and Daya were voted out. Like now?
Yeah.
Now
I know. That's what I thought too. And I was just like, it's a competition. Like it should have been real the whole time. I don't know, but
every season, as soon as the first girl goes home, somebody is gonna come back and be like, it didn't hit me, but I realize now that a bitch is gonna go home every week. Like, what did you think you were doing?
Well, like, to me it was funny too, because it was like really technically the first week someone actually went home. So it was just like, or save that for like 5 episodes later when there's like several people home. Be like, oh wait, okay.
Right.
But yeah.
Like for real, I want somebody just once in a season to be like, first girl went home and that's how it should be. Like,
I mean, Cornbread kind of gave that to us.
Viewer, you know, like
Cornbread did give that to us. She was like, bitches are gonna go home. That's the game.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
They all go to the couch and they're like, does anyone think that they should have done better? And Jasmine just breaks down.
Jasmine.
You can tell that Jasmine is a theater queen because the bitch is giving soliloquies left, right, and center. Like, no one else is in the room. This is her stage, and this is her moment.
Yep.
This has really been the season of references to the past. As someone was just like, it's a lot of emotions for safe.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad Boston said it. That's one of my top 10 quotes I use in daily life every day. And I'm so glad it was used correctly here. Yeah, and it's speeching. I can't speak, apparently. My speech impediment.
You can't speech.
Your speech's not good enough. But it seems like there's a pattern where New York queens just do not like being safe. Jasmine's safe, she cries. Milk is safe, she cries. Jan is safe, she cries.
Okay, I'm gonna give Jan credit though. Like, imagine constantly being like psychologically being tortured with being safe. You'd cry.
I mean, sure, but it's also like, girl, you're here another week. And also, especially for Jasmine's case, you're in for another week, and there's plenty of weeks to go. You have
Yeah.
plenty of time to
Yes.
still win a challenge. Calm down.
Yep.
So I think that's everything for just, the immediate come back into the workroom.
Yes.
New day in the workroom.
New day in the workroom. And I'm glad this picture's here because something needs to be addressed.
Yes.
This frog bucket hat that Deja Sky has
I
on.
have that hat.
Why does every soft femme gay feel the need to buy a bucket hat? I don't understand.
Wow. What? I'm leaving.
Like, I work in Hot Topic and we sell bucket hats by the bucket, pun intended. And the amount of soft queers who come in and buy them are upsetting. The numbers
I did not
are
come here to be called
disgusting.
out.
Right. I'm like, I may have one just hanging out on my bookshelf over
I
here.
Oh my God.
literally.
Am I the most masked in the group? Do I not?
Are you the trade of the
Well, okay.
season?
I am the
So,
trade of the podcast.
Mine was a Christmas gift though. So
Okay, that's an excuse. That's fair.
it wasn't,
Yeah.
I didn't buy it.
Okay.
And it does
This-
have profanity on it. So,
This isn't an excuse. This is just the fact that I got it right after I came out, and I was like, "Ooh, what kind of game I gonna?" I have not worn it out.
There is a great image that I've saved on my phone, and we'll probably share it on the Facebook group. By the way, if you haven't follow us on the Facebook group.
Yeah, we're on
for
Facebook
yeah,
now.
we have a page.
Look at that seamless segue. Ding.
Good job.
But
Hashtag Drag Race.
sponsored by Cash App and Ketchup. But
Wow.
back to what I was saying.
I am obsessed with mustard.
No, let's relish this for a second.
Oh my
Anyway,
God. You guys are unhinged today.
That caffeine enema,
coffee enema, girl, it's real. But there's this great meme where it's like gays wearing hats, and there's one in a baseball hat, one in a beanie, one in an artsy beret, and then it's one like random bucket hat. I'm like, this is it. This is the spectrum right here.
Gays
There
and
are
hats.
4 genders.
So to get back on topic, they really just start getting in on Jasmine Kennedy.
The best part
yeah.
about this was Jasmine was like, wouldn't it be crazy if we had to like do different fabrics? And then Carrie goes, wouldn't it be crazy if you stopped talking?
Right.
I know, she really wanted that ball win. She's like, full delusion. What if we had a second ball or a third?
Like,
Right. What if we have
like-
one until I win? Is basically what she's trying to do.
like Carrie didn't win this challenge at all, but she won the episode with that line right there.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
Wouldn't it be crazy if you learned to shut up?
And then we get the discussion between Jasmine and Miss Cornbread, the
Oof.
snack jeté.
Yes, I'm gonna have more to say on this conversation as a whole. I feel like this, I liked the, hey, this is your moment to grow as a person conversation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will have more to
agree.
say as we get deeper into the episode.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think there is something to be said here about it's good to see that Drag Race is in a different era, because this would have been so easy for them to edit Cornbread as the angry black woman picking on the
Yep.
sad white girl.
Yep.
4
straight
seasons
up
ago,
would have
Vixen
been-
would have been
Yep.
dragged through the mud for this kind of
Vixen
behavior.
Aquaria.
Mhm. And so I'm glad this was handled as just 2 adults discussing their differences in a like productive manner. Like no
Yeah.
one's the bad guy, no one's the hero in this. They're just
Mhm.
2 people who have clashing perspective, and they're just discussing it as adults. And thought the way this was handled was very tasteful for Drag Race to do.
Yeah.
So
Then
we find out that this week the girls are going to be doing a super teaser for Drag Race season 14. I feel like of all the acting challenges, this is the most original one that I have
Yes.
seen, where they're literally making teasers for the season.
and then they use some of the clips from the teasers in the actual promo for the season.
Yes, I was going to bring this up
Yep.
when we got into it, but literally, you remember how I made a comment about Maddie's confessional look being aggressively straight?
Yeah.
That's the look.
Yeah.
the black leather
Right?
jacket. That's what I was
And
like,
the
oh my
backpacker top.
God.
And then they use
Yeah.
the clip of Bosco with her legs up, be like, "This one's for you, Carson."
Yup.
Like, I was like, "What the fuck?" And so I'm glad this was just like a parody of themselves.
Right.
And they still used it. Like, World
Yeah.
of Wonder is
Shady.
getting their money's worth.
A shady bunch of junkie whores, as Jasmine Masters would so wisely
Yes.
say.
So
Yeah, and I'm glad this challenge was literally up to the queens to make, which is how I feel like Drag Race should
yes.
be. Stop force feeding them bad scripts. Let them be bad on their own merit.
Yeah.
I love though that as soon as, you know, this conversation between Cornbread and Jasmine happens and they let Jasmine pick which team she's going to go to, she's like, let me get in Cornbread's team. And then she has an
Yep.
explanation for it. And Rue's
I
like,
know.
girl, go ahead.
Just shut up and go. Yeah.
This is why I think Jasmine is one of the smartest people in the room, because she knew picking Cornbread's team would give her more airtime. Like 1,000% did she know that if she goes and instigates something, well, not intentionally instigating, but like it's
Right.
going to give the producers something to work with.
Yeah.
And smart, because Jasmine was all over this episode because of that.
Yep.
Yep.
Cornbread, the snack jeté versus Jasmine, the producer Kennedy.
Right. And then we need to talk about bless Jasmine's heart. Like,
Oh.
there was a moment where they're talking in their groups, and then Jasmine does this thing where she's like, "I want to let everyone know that I'm going to be writing my questions down and then share when I'm done."
Why?
Which,
yeah.
at first I was like, good, this is smart. You were told that you talk and interrupt people a lot, and this is you saying, "Hey, I'm going to write all my feelings down, and then I'll give everyone else a chance to talk, and then I will talk." Awesome. And then she follows up with, "Y'all don't know this, but I have like amazing communications." I was like, "No, you ruined it." Like, you were
exactly. Yep. I know. That's what I thought too. I was like, oh, cool. Oh, okay.
Well, so here's something that like I noticed, and this is something that happened not on the show, but later. Jasmine was talking about how she has ADHD and that her taking notes really helps her listen.
Yeah.
And like, it bothered me seeing, you know, Cornbread really like get in on her about everything she's doing.
Yeah.
Like, girl, if
it was
taking the notes helps her listen, just let her take her fucking notes.
I also think though, Jasmine could have taken that like how Cornbread took the opportunity to help Jasmine grow. Jasmine could have taken that same opportunity to be like, "Hey, I hear what you're saying. I just need this to focus." And I feel like Cornbread would have a hard time arguing against that.
Right.
But they're all good anyway. I just think if that added perspective was given, I feel like Cornbread might have had less of a like misunderstanding with it. But
I also noticed Carrie Colby started finding herself getting stuck in that Yua Hamasaki gotta stay pretty trap.
Yua Hamasaki. Actually, what Carrie's arc reminds me the most about so far is Courtney Act, because there was something about Courtney that always needed to be polished and primed and pretty, and it sometimes got in the way of her being relatable. I think this fits better for Jasmine in this episode, and that like Jasmine has a hard time stopping her mouth from talking, and then that prevents her from being relatable to the people who don't understand what she's going through. But Carrie has the same issue where Michelle literally has to hold her hand at the end of this and be like, "We get you're pretty. Now stop it." You know, like.
Yep.
So we'll see if both of them kind of can pivot from that and get back on track. But yeah, interesting. Okay. Something else. Anything else on Jasmine and Cornbread before we move on?
No.
No, nothing right within this group.
Okay.
For Team Maddie. Angie just being the master of manifestation.
I know.
I'm not saying I'm not an actor. I just haven't tried it yet.
I know. I love that
too.
though. That was such a good like I don't know. I think that's like a really good perspective, like in general for anything. Like you just like, oh, like I don't know if I'm good at it or not. I just like haven't done it yet.
Right.
Let's give it a shot, see what happens.
And I think
that is great.
The best perspective anyone can be on Drag Race should have is don't tell yourself that you're not this, just tell yourself you haven't done it yet. Like there is a difference in taking that mindset into any sort of challenge in Drag Race of like, you know, just because I'm not good at or haven't done it doesn't mean I'm not good at it. And I like that Angie went in thinking that, you know. Another fun thing about this group is there was a moment where they're discussing like they're like, oh well, we should do like the worm or like the splits and like act like we're not good at it, right? And then Deja chimes in like, hey, like I think the worm would be better. And I know they're not trying to make her the villain, but Alyssa being like, oh, okay, felt really shady. And I was like, Alyssa, sweetie, sit down. It's okay. Like, don't. This is just trying to come up with ideas the funniest. And sometimes our ideas are not going to be the funniest. It's just like that sometimes.
Yeah,
and it's okay
exactly.
to sit back and just accept it.
I loved Maddie proving that she like knows what she's doing by throwing out all these Drag Race references. You're like, okay, Maddie did her homework,
right?
Not just the straight guy showing up.
And then there was, so I felt really bad for Alyssa in this moment because I understand her going to that crutch of being like her joke was kind of always the same, and I think if she expressed it better, it would have flown a lot better. And like trying to when they were spitballing, because all of her things were like everything needs to be adjective Latina. Like she says she's the clown Latina or like the crazy Latina, right? And I feel like going back to those like crutches is okay as long as you're not expressly stating I am so and so Latino or so and so Black. Like Bob has done moments where he falls back into like a hood character, right? But he doesn't say I'm the hood Black girl. You know, like there is a way of presenting the material while still being able to like do it in a funny way without what's the word? Clearly writing out what the joke here is, you know? And you know, I hate to say like I'm not saying like don't ever do stereotypes ever, because fact of the matter is Rue finds them funny sometimes, and if you think they're going to help you get through the challenge, then you should do them, because at the end of the day it's about who makes Rue like them the most.
It's about who's getting that $100,000,
right? And so I don't think there's anything wrong with falling into stereotypes if you think it's going to help you do good in the challenge, but don't give away the game that you're trying to do, because then it kind of takes the not the fun out of it, but like the suspension of disbelief out of it, you know?
Yeah,
absolutely.
But then Deja does something. So Alyssa gives an idea, and then Deja goes, how about we come back to that? And I cackled, because Deja's mean every group project where I'm like, I don't want to be mean, but your ideas suck and I don't want to address them. So we're just gonna come back to that.
Let's put a pin in that. We'll circle back around.
I think I thank you so much for engaging. We'll definitely think about that and come back to this. Go to retail mode real quick. I understand your frustrations and we'll do our best to work on that.
All right. So anything else for this group's table talk?
No. Those are the highlights of it.
All right. So we go into actual filming.
Which was interesting.
It was so chaotic.
I had a deep appreciation for Maddie's man spread.
But even better than that, I love Maddie pretending to do a workroom entrance and doing a terrible cartwheel and be like, I'm the dancing diva.
The dancing queen is here.
And I'm like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, Maddie actually impressed me. She was actually very funny.
I agree.
Yeah, she really actually impressed me with everything that all the jokes, everything that they came up with.
The line of like, am I two gay dads?
I know.
Like that.
When I came out as straight and blah. Yeah, that was so great.
Oh, I wanted to share this.
Yes.
This is kind of backing up. Have I shared with you guys my version of the Sugar Daddy speech?
The Shakespearean version?
Yes.
I haven't heard it.
Okay, so the only reason I'm bringing this up is because like it was a pretty big joke this episode. But the Shangela versus Mimi I'm First, have you seen that whole thing, Amber?
No.
They played a clip of it during the
yeah.
episode. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But so the original is what Myles gave us right at the top of the recording today.
Yeah.
My version is a moment of your time, please. Gather all the available information before making unprecedented accusations. I don't possess a glucose guardian, my dear companion. All I have owned, I labored for, and furthermore, I labored for to obtain for my own purposes and build my career thus, and it is necessary that you fully grasp this. I don't possess a glucose guardian, nor have I ever possessed a glucose guardian. If I desired a glucose guardian, indeed, I could travel thusly and obtain one for myself, for I am what? Diseased. You are incapable of possessing a glucose guardian, for you do not meet the criteria of femininity required to obtain a glucose guardian. Acquaintance of mine, all I have labored for via my own efforts, I established my reputation from naught, you damned wench.
Because
That's
I am
fantastic.
what? Diseased.
Because I am what? Diseased.
Oh my god. I love it.
But yes, so that's a special for the YouTube channel.
Oh, fancy.
Thank you for sharing with the class.
And now we'll get back into our regular conversation like that didn't happen.
Now
So
to
the
our regular
podcast,
schedule program.
yeah, so the podcast editing is super smooth. So anyway, the filming for these
Move segues. That's what we're here to provide.
We just need sound. We need sound effects. We're just like
I love it.
I'm really sad that some of these filming moments did not make it into the episodes or into the super teases. I love the meaty tuck
thing didn't happen.
Yeah, the meaty tuck was funny.
They let this bitch shove all this shit into her padding and then they didn't even use it.
Like they made her like they made her pack to Jade Sotomayor from season 1 levels of tucking, and then we're like, nah.
They really did that to her.
Y'all remember when this is like way back in season 1, but Jade walked down the runway and Rue had the nerve to basically ask her, how big is your penis? Like, I was like,
whoa.
I was like,
oh
Rue,
my god, that's
Rue,
terrible.
You can't just go around asking people how big their penises are. Like,
right.
Rue had a lot. Rue had less of a filter back in the logo days.
Like I'm saying, like that coffee enema was hitting strong in those early seasons, and I'm here for it making a return.
So we'll talk more about what actually made it into the teasers in a moment.
I will say, in one thing that was cool in like the rehearse bits was when Jasmine came in saying, "I'm here to prove that I can be a good team player," and I think she did that. I thought she was really good with working with people, and I will say kudos to Jasmine for this line because she has this big blowout moment and she's like yelling and screaming, and then she immediately follows with, do you guys think I'm gonna be in the bottom this week?
I love that.
So hard. I was like, okay.
Absolutely. I love that she was able to take the note and run with it.
Yeah.
Right. And then when Willow's group did it and Angie was like getting ready to gear up, Carson made some random reference which I did not bother writing down. And Angie goes, yep, whatever that means. And I was like, yes, that was so smart. Because like at the end of the day, just acknowledge whatever the judges are talking about and move on. Like they'll be like, huh? And like it acknowledged that she didn't know, but she was still willing to take the note and laugh at the judges, which is what they're kind of fishing for.
Absolutely.
And then speaking of smart performances, let me tell you something, you ugly ass bitch.
Ugly ass bitch.
That
was so great.
So funny. And freaking Angie yelling, I am from Florida. I was like, oh my god, this is a mess. And I'm absolutely here for it.
Yeah.
Oh man. So back in the workroom, we've got a couple mirror moments to discuss.
Yes.
The first one being Alyssa Hunter and her father.
That was so precious.
I loved that so much.
That was really cute.
That was so cute.
And it's funny looking at their pictures, they look alike. Like you can clearly
Yeah.
tell Alyssa is her dad's son. Like
Yeah.
very much. The only critique note I have about Alyssa talking about her dad coming out is he single and is his number available?
Myles, you're not single.
He
Yeah.
can be added to the third. Like we can have a three-way. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. The only person who would even make room is maybe Evie's dad, but that's a different story.
No,
Kidding.
so after we talk about Alyssa's father, we get an English lesson from Carrie Colby for Miss Lady Camden about bird watching.
Yeah, I was like, Camden here proves that even though she speaks English, she doesn't understand context clues. Because
honestly,
what do you think they were talking about? Like, I never heard bird watching either.
I hadn't heard bird watching before that.
Understood what they were saying.
Right.
I was like, Camden, what are we doing here? And then we got a video message from Rue. I was like, what's it called again? I don't know.
Rue. Rue mail?
A Rue mail? Okay. And
ooh, girl.
J-Lo is there giving what I felt like was one of the most scripted hellos to from any like celebrity.
Literally, World of Wonder got a cameo, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a Mad Lib of like cameos to drag queen contestants. Like, hey queens, you look gorge. Stay fierce. Work. And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I loved having J. Like, I'm always excited to see J-Lo. However, like this is very like you can tell when it's a FaceTime conversation and when it's literally just I'm sitting here in my promo studio. I'm gonna talk for a minute and I'm gonna say good luck.
Right.
Yeah.
It was literally the Steve Buscemi drag equivalent of hello, fellow kids. Like
yeah, honestly.
But yeah, shall we get into the judges looks tonight?
Talk about it. We get Miss LONI LOVE back tonight.
Everybody say LONI LOVE because one of the greatest guest judges that has ever been on Drag Race, and I'm so glad
You're the one who's bombing.
You're the one who's bombing.
That will forever be one of my favorite Drag Race moments.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And she was also super fun on Secret Celebrity Drag Race. That was also a good episode for LONI LOVE. And yeah, this Xanadu look on Rue, Xana don't. I did not like this.
What did Xana do?
Like, it just looks cheap. And
wait, no, I've got another pun for you. Wait.
Yeah.
Xana do better work, bitch.
Okay.
Get me an earpiece and a spot on the panel. I'm ready to make one-liners about the runways.
Oh yeah, like they were all Gorge Orwell for sure, you know. And Ross in a varsity jacket. Next.
I was gonna say that is the only time Ross Matthews has ever earned a Letterman.
Seriously. Okay. I've seen Ross wear really nice things before. And so when it came to this, I was like, okay, cool.
Kind of the same for Michelle though. Michelle wasn't giving anything like in particular this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the best dressed was Lonnie, like of the judges panel. Like Lonnie was looking good. And then
are we surprised?
No, that's very true. And then are we doing the skit scats first, or are we doing?
So I've got the runways first.
Okay, cool. So let's get into the gig.
Willow Pill. Yeah.
It's a look.
Yeah.
I don't think it's terrible, but I wasn't gagging over it like RuPaul was.
Yeah.
I feel like of the Willow Pill looks we've seen. Okay, wait, I gotta say this. I hated this category just in general. None of these looks really did it for me because it felt like they were supposed to be dragged up versions of these looks. And literally they were all just recreations. Like every time we've gotten
literal just the actual
literally
look.
Just wearing the garment.
Literally the actual J-Lo dress. Yeah.
Like every time we've gotten a Night of 1,000 X runways, they've been dragged up versions of the look
Yeah.
or
The
8
best
kimonos.
version of this was the Gaga one. Like that was
Yeah.
a great runway. And yeah, this was fine.
Yeah.
It just
Nothing
felt
to write
like
home about.
all of them decided this was going to be their safe runway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, Willow Pill, it's the look. It's safe.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say, Willow's performance in this challenge was really pleasing to me.
Mm-hmm.
When Willow's running up and down the step, like, where's Jeffrey? Where's
That
Jeffrey
was so
Chapman?
funny. Oh my
I
god.
thought this was the Bitchler. Jeffrey, where is Jeffrey Porter Chapman? Said no one watching Drag Race Canada.
Right.
But yeah, she was fun. I also think the line about her catheter was really funny. It made me laugh a lot. I don't know exactly what the line is, but she's like, I got a catheter or something.
Yeah.
Literally, it was the entrance line. My catheter is leaking.
Yeah, and I was like, okay.
This is the week we got the Willow Pill that like Denver knows. Like her doing the fake cry, putting the lip color in on her tongue.
That was wild. Hated that.
This is
that
the Willow Pill that I recognize.
Like green into her mouth during Snatch Game as pop.
Yeah.
Like I was not a fan of that. But other than that, yes.
So next up, Cornbread the Snack Jeté.
This is not a read on Cornbread, but I hated this look on JLo. I hated it here. And this is literally like Joan of Arc during the middle of the burning. Like I just hate this look. Like I think it's so ugly.
This is a read against Cornbread. When are we going to get wigs with volume?
Rude.
It's another flat wig. Like,
yeah.
I love Cornbread so much. But that's like the one thing that just almost every week.
I would like to see some height in her wigs just once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm not looking for Tracy Turnblad levels of height.
Right.
Tammy Faye.
Yeah. I actually just finally watched The Eyes of Tammy Faye this week. Oh my gosh. Like a documentary and the Jessica Chastain movie.
Oh wow, you went in.
I went in. Like I watched the movie, then I was like, I got Wow Presents Plus.
I could make time.
Yeah. Well, it's been snowing in Denver, so like I've got
so
nothing but time. I'm stuck.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Cornbread, the one take wonder.
And
if I had to eat today, I was ready, pulling snacks at it everywhere.
Every yeah.
Pork chops out of her wig.
I know.
The thing with this was funny at first, but then eventually became I got a blank hoe. I got this hoe. I got that hoe. And I was like,
yeah, it was a lot of that.
I think Jasmine was spot on in saying that there weren't levels. It was as soon as she started it, across the board, same thing.
And comedy in particular should come in, like the rule of three is really important. Like if you repeat a joke, it's funny if you do it 3 times. If you do it over, it becomes really stale.
Yeah.
And so I felt like that needed to be cut down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, Lady Camden.
I loved this one.
This look I was confused
about. I loved
about
it.
because in the image that she used as reference, it looks orange, but she comes out in what feels like more of a like hot, like reddish pink, you know?
Yeah, this is like a fire truck red.
Yeah, I was wondering if like, is this the lights fucking with it, or is this her actual look? And I couldn't tell. And so if it's the lights, then this is a great look. If it's actually that color, I feel like it's a bit of a miss. But I still think it's well recreated.
Yeah, I will say like of the recreations, I like this one.
Yeah.
Probably would have liked it more on JLo.
Right. Probably would have liked it if she had padded a little bit more, but like
yeah, there really isn't any body to this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm giving JLo, and I'm like, you are too flat to be giving JLo. No.
I loved Lady Camden as the American in disguise
competitor with that awful bandana and tank top. I could not.
God bless America.
That was so funny.
But then she said it in a British accent too, and I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, crying into an American flag, then with an English accent. God bless America.
I was like, what is happening on this here day?
It was great. Miss Bosco.
Yeah, I didn't really
with
like
the
this
makeup
one.
on, like the whole like neck up was giving me a lion. And I don't know if that was intentional.
I thought this was really clean. This looked so hot. Then I realized I had an issue with this because it looks hot on her because Bosco's a sample size queen. Like anything will fit good on her body because she's just skinny. And then I was starting to think, I was like, would I like this more if it was on any other queen? Like, you know. And then I kind of lost its appeal to me. I still think this looked great. This like gold lame and flowing fabric. I just was like, is she passing on that, or is it actually a good look? And I had issues with complimenting it.
Yeah. I mean, if the goal was to look like Jennifer Lyon,
yes,
great
spot
job.
on.
Succeed. J Lo,
not so much.
It's a no. You know,
no way.
Where I wasn't disappointed with Bosco was her performance in this challenge. I love a good baby voice, so skinny. Like I love that, and I'm so glad she chose that character, especially when she's like, I think you should be in the bathroom. And then like you're just like, why? And she goes, the hair. Like,
I love that.
It made me cackle. Or something I'm gonna start saying from now on is, you're just jealous because I have a body like string cheese.
The string cheese. One of my favorite moments in the entire challenge.
Right.
Body like peeled string cheese.
Yeah.
I was like, that is an image that I wasn't expecting, but it is really funny.
Yeah.
So good job, Bosco.
Carrie Colby.
Carrie.
There's recreating the look, and then there's literally wearing the look on the runway.
It do take nerve for pulling it off, and pulling it off, if not as good, it may be better than J-Lo did. But Carrie be praising the Drag Race gods that not one other girl did this look, because I was real concerned we were going to get a night of 1,000 kimonos while everyone doing this exact same green Versace runway.
Yeah.
So she got real lucky. Granted, if someone had done it, Carrie's would have been better because it's the original.
It's the damn thing.
Yeah.
But I still think she better have praised right. She must have sacrificed the right goat, because I am so surprised not a single duplicate was made of this.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll get into it in a minute, but this is a great lesson as to why you don't bring the actual garment. This is why you recreate the garment.
Yeah.
Because, well, I guess it worked out for her in the end. However,
have imagined if she had ripped that garment on national television.
That would have made for some good TV, that's for sure.
I would have lost my damn mind.
I would have been screaming at my TV.
But yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, it takes nerve for wearing the actual thing, because then you have to take real good care of it. But
yeah. So in the challenge, she could just kind of blend it in. Like there weren't really any standout Carrie moments for me.
Yeah, I kind of was frustrated. Well, because again, like I feel like this whole time she's just been like floating by, because she's very pretty. We all know this. But yeah, I wish she would have like just like showed more of a funny side and not just played, oh, I'm gonna pretend like I'm a Kardashian. It's like, well, like that's your signature thing. Like maybe try something else.
And then the other thing is Jake, you're saying that Carrie didn't stand out. I thought she stood out for the wrong reasons, because acting to be really clunky and forced.
It wasn't good.
And so it was just awkward.
And even in the final edit, you can still hear her struggling on the "face only a mother could love" line.
Yeah. Which is a line she wrote for herself.
Yep.
But yeah, so girl Carrie Colby.
Yeah.
Georges
should have been the bottom. I'm sorry. Like the performance was bad. the runway was worse. And I was just really frustrated that she wasn't even critiqued on this.
Mhm.
Like Georges had this. We talk real quick. Um, there was a moment in the workroom after the challenge where Georges was like, I won 2 pageants, and one of them I was presenting as JLo. And
Yeah.
I just would like to say I am so glad that Georges is doing pageants for the benefit of blind people, that she was able to win that pageant, because there's no JLo in that image that was posted, and I was really upset. I was like, no. I don't hate Georges, but I just don't think she did well.
Yeah, this is a really weird week for judging, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll go
The
deeper on that.
rigor
But
mortis.
like, listen, this is the week of WoW's rigor mortis
I
between this
mean,
and UK. But
but I'm curious, why are we pushing Georges so much? Because the last 2 weeks, I've really hardly disagreed, or strongly disagreed with Georges's placement. Last week, she was in the top. I don't think she deserved it. This week, she was safe. I don't think she deserved that. And so,
maybe there's a challenge that like they put her on the show in the first place for that we haven't gotten yet, and like production is really banking on her killing that challenge.
right. I think that's kind of what's going on. It's like they want her for something, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Like, there's something that is making them unwilling to lose her. I just don't know sure what that's supposed.
All right, next up, Jasmine Kennedy.
This was one of the best runways of the night.
I
Like,
will
I don't
say.
think
Yeah.
I don't think it
liked
was in the top 3, but it was really close.
I love that it had pockets.
I love a dress with pockets. Oh my god,
you
amazing.
have to appreciate it.
Yep.
The only thing that I noticed in the challenge was that the scene that we saw play out
wasn't used.
Yeah, like they used a little bit of the mirror moment, but that was really it. Like they didn't even include the. Do you think I'll be in the bottom this week?
Which was her best moment, and I'm kind of sad they cut it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought she did good, but based on what they actually used in the segment, I don't think you can argue for her to be anywhere but safe. Like she wasn't bad, but she also didn't have a standout moment, except for this runway, which is nice. But
well, and it's really interesting because I was expecting some sort of like storyline that was going to put her in the top or bottom, given everything going on this week.
Yeah.
Me too.
So, Maddie Morphosis.
Okay, so I don't think this is the best look, but I will give props where they're due. Maddie's makeup has increased significantly from last week to this week. It looks so much better.
So good, yeah.
And so I clearly she's taking tips from the other girls around her, and I just think it's looking really nice already.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this is a good choice as a JLo look, because I don't think a lot of people would have thought of this one. And it's still pretty striking. I'm not gonna remember this one in like 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because this wasn't the original look that Maddie wanted to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I did save this because this was the look that Maddie wanted to do on the runway. And I don't know why, but she wasn't able to.
Huh. Because I like this, whatever this is.
Yeah. I think this would have done a lot better. This probably would have placed her a lot higher in the
I do think like
judging.
There was an argument for Maddie to take Deja's spot in the top 3. Well, actually no, take Willow's spot in the top 3. But I think the look kept Maddie from being pushed over the edge. I think this would have helped her get there.
Yeah. I would love to know why this look didn't get used.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when production is like, no, you can't use that look, you can look at it and be like, oh, okay, I can see why TV might object to it. I've got nothing for this.
I don't know if maybe they just were concerned that in the lighting of the runway it would just wash her out. I don't know.
In the challenge though, Maddie was great.
Something that isn't great, have y'all noticed Maddie's walk on the runway? It's very stiff. Like it's just I'm a dude going to the bus stop, and I'm like, okay, like. So
Maddie's walk on the runway is like me walking to my car from the gay bar so I don't get hate crimed on the way back.
Right.
Oh
where like
Yeah.
I've got like eyeliner on, my nails are done, and I'm just walking like I will hurt you.
Yeah.
Eyes on the ground, darling. Eyes on the ground.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very masking.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so Deja Sky.
Wow.
I loved Deja Sky so much.
I liked
this
it.
week.
Yeah, it was really good.
So good in the challenge. When she walked into the workroom and goes, "Is this an audition for AJ and the Queen?" I was like, "You are the shadiest bitch of the episode."
Honestly,
that was brutal.
Listen, Deja was just killing it on this challenge because Deja's thumbs up is my new favorite reaction. Just Deja as the cow.
That was wild. I don't know how I felt about that.
The best part is when the tornado's coming and then the cow is Deja just in the background somewhere.
Yeah.
Or Deja's I was born at a very young age.
Right. I couldn't walk for the first 2 years of my life.
There would be mornings that I would wake up and there was just shit in my pants.
Yeah.
Like
it was so funny. So when I was watching that, one of my brothers came out of his room and like walked by at that part where she was saying that, and he just like looked and he was like, "What?" And then just kept walking.
I love it.
I was just like, "Don't ask questions."
Dedication to make that as sincere as possible was too funny. And then
yes,
this runway happens, and I think this is a little unfortunate because the reference image that they post next to her, I was like, oh, I like that better.
Oh yeah, I feel like that was everything. It was either at the same level or the original was better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that, I think that cut Deja out from being a valid contender to win this challenge, because I think up until that point she had a real shot. So yeah, shame, but I mean, she still has another week in, and I have a feeling she might be good at next week's challenge. So we'll see.
Next up, Miss Diabetica.
Diabeta, I could not, because I did not like this runway.
You didn't?
I was not a fan of I thought the runway was good until she took off the bottom.
Really?
Exactly what I was thinking. I was fine with it, and then she took off the part I actually liked about it.
That's happening a lot this season, where like a queen will walk in with a look and you're like, this is a good look, then they take off a piece that makes it good.
And
you're like,
okay,
but why? But what for?
Like, I forgot this look existed, and I literally rewatched the episode today. So my thing is like, this is not a look that stood out by any means, shape, or form, and I think this was just a swing and a miss for me.
In the challenge, I think my favorite moment, other than Daya's "I'm straight too," is
that was funny.
Daya, the titty grab, where Angie's like, "Girl, get off of me."
But yeah,
good stuff. Angeria, Paris, and Michaels.
I love this one.
Angeria, Paris, the winner, Van Michaels, because this was Angie's week the entire time. Like, there was no like question that Angie was winning this. We already went over the highlights of like, I'm from Florida, you ugly bitch.
What I really loved
from Bethlehem
was the moment where Rue is like, to put you in your place, you will have to lip sync for your life against me. As it like, listen, I love RuPaul Andre Charles very much, but I feel like
that's not
60 to 70% of these bitches could beat Rue in a lip sync at this point.
I think Charlie Hides could beat RuPaul in a lip sync.
Honestly, like, you get Rue on a stage just going.
I mean, so you mean Maddie's performance last week?
Yes. You would get Maddie versus June part 2.
The remix, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh my gosh.
It just
But
yeah.
And then this runway giving you Victor Victoria down.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. This is the look that Heidi and Closet tried to do in season 12, where Nikki told her that her makeup and hair was busted as all hell. This is the right way to do it. And it looks so good.
I had a theory, but I feel like it's definitely not an accurate theory, but I'm going to share it anyway.
Okay, great. Should I get my tinfoil hat before you start, or?
I mean, I think Angie's got you covered.
Okay, cool.
My theory was that the look we saw Cornbread wear the first week, it's the same look. It's a very similar look because it's the bead hair, it's the silver gown. I wouldn't have been surprised if this was just like if Cornbread had brought that as like her first plan and then decided to go to her alternate, which was the look none of us liked.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'd believe it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Angie crushed it. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Our winner. Like,
at this point, I don't know if Angie's gonna win the whole thing or come off as Mr. Congeniality. It's gonna be one of the two.
Yeah. She's definitely a front runner after this challenge and her previous win.
Yeah.
Alyssa Hunter
wearing, I think, the best look of the night.
Yeah, like, I loved it. Yeah,
immaculate. Like, this was, and then when she ripped off the like blazer and had that sparkled bejeweled corset underneath, I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I loved it. This was one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah,
I love the look, like in concept and everything, but I think when you wear like just a pantsuit on the runway, you're kind of setting yourself up to be read by the judges.
I don't think that's fair though, because it's not like I understand like wearing pants sometimes reads as lazy, but the way this is constructed, the way this is fitted, the way that the corset is stoned out of her mind, like
no, it's it's an absolutely gorgeous look. I just think at this point, like the rules of Drag Race are kind of established, and you run that risk if you don't have a great performance in the challenge.
Yeah,
agreed.
And then that money gun.
The money gun.
That money gun did her dirty. We'll get there.
We'll talk about the money gun.
Yeah.
Orion's story.
Fight me on this if you will. Orion had the second best look of the night. Like,
I really did like this look.
The fact that she made this herself. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and yet, it's really good.
Like, granted, it's not the exact dress as Carrie Colby has, but like it's a pretty spot on replication.
Yeah.
And it looks so good. And I like how Orion in Untucked was like, they said they wanted glamour, and I said, bitch, I'll give you glamour. Because this was so well executed.
Yes.
And I was like, ooh, Orion did not come to play.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, so I think that's it. Yep.
So anything to say about Orion's performance, I guess? She was barely in the segment.
Yeah, that was really it. I mean, there were a couple other things that I forgot to bring up, like in general about the challenges. I loved the fake apology from Carrie Colby. Like, I'm pretty sure we've heard that apology before.
Yep. Yes.
And then apology. The brain surgery maxi challenge. I've seen that joke on Reddit. That's like the producers looking at Reddit and going,
"We could do that,
bitch. We knew you knew."
Right.
Something I really liked. Two things. One thing. This is me just reading for Orion's story as I do. There's a moment. It's really short, but when they do the fake crying, and Orion is like praying to a candle, like a prayer candle, and it just has her own image on it.
That was like her reveal look, wasn't it?
Yeah, that got a laugh out of me. That was really funny. And then the second part that I howled at is Deja and Ageria have this like crying moment together, and then they start rhythmically harmonizing and they're crying, and I was like, this is some Midsummer shit. Like I about fell out of my seat. I was like, what is this?
One last thing that I want to bring up. when the trailer is like, and if you're not watching Untucked, you're only getting half the story. The strawography, because you watch Untucked and every episode you've got like at least one bitch that's like trying to get that straw.
There's a great compilation video out there where it's just every girl missing their straw, and it's one of my favorite things I come to every 2 months or so.
Oh my god! So that's the runway. Those are the challenge, the runway. We go into our critiques, and these are our placements.
Yeah, I have thoughts about the bottom two. I don't know if it's too soon to say this. You know, I love my girl Carrie, but she did not win that lip sync, in my opinion.
No.
Oh, we'll get all into that.
We'll get
at all.
But
not at all.
Discussing the placements as a whole first.
Fair.
Winner feels correct. Deja in the top feels correct.
Yeah.
Willow feels correct. I think there's a strong argument where Maddie could have taken her spot, but I'm okay with Willow being there. It's the bottom three I have a big issue with.
Yeah.
I think because she had the best runway, Alyssa should have been just low. I don't think Alyssa should have touched the bottom two, in my opinion.
No.
I
think the bottom two should have been Carrie and Georges.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's what should have happened. And I think we'll get there. But I think I mean, we can jump into the lip sync if we want, if we're all in agreement on the placement.
Oh, we can all talk about the lip sync now.
That
RuPaul better be so thankful that Alyssa's gun prop didn't work, because otherwise there is no rhyme or reason they could have possibly have sent Alyssa home.
But even when the gun prop didn't work, she improvised, she adapted, she overcame.
Yeah, and she did way more dancing, like Carrie just stood there worried about the dress. Yes. Yeah. She wasn't putting in any effort, like which is why she should not have had the original
that's why you make your own.
Yes, exactly, because then she was just worried about it and she did bad, and somehow I don't know. I don't agree with it though.
Yeah,
like
you
I
can
love
tear
Carrie
your
Colby,
own.
but she did not win that lip sync.
And here we get into the unfortunate habit that Drag Race has of just really mistreating queens whose English is not their first language. Because I do not think Alyssa's performance, while bad, earned her a spot in the bottom two, and I do not think she lip synced badly enough to go home.
She didn't.
Yep.
For Drag Race, unless your name is Yara Sofia, if you're a second language learner, you're kind of irrelevant. Unless you're Alexis Mateo, in which case your talent cannot be ignored no matter how hard they try.
Even if you are Yara Sofia, if going back to All-Star 6.
Yeah, well, see, I mean, that's a quick tangent, but Yara was put in the bottom because her face did not read as entertained, which I'm glad they at least carried over for UK versus the World with Lemon, but regardless.
So by the drag gods, and when I say that I mean production,
right,
Alyssa Hunter wins the lip sync and Carrie Colby unwraps a chocolate bar. And Carrie
what? I was like, wait, that was all.
You know what I meant?
Wrong.
Swap them.
I thought you were doing like a theory, like this is what should have happened.
Tired.
Right. For a second, I was like, okay, and I was like, wait, what now? What are we doing?
I'm sleepy.
Okay, sleepy queen.
Alyssa Hunter unwraps her bar, and it is just chocolate. So she sachets away.
The sad foghorn. Like, I can't.
It makes absolutely no sense to me. However, you know what I'd really love? Whenever some bitch unwraps their bar and it's the golden bar, I want that in reverse. I want that trombone to slide up. I want it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. This was a robbery, a riggery, a heist, if you will. And I don't think no amount of Ocean's movies can pull this off. And this was really sad.
One thing I did notice during the lip sync, the lights in the doorway at the back of the runway. They're moving around. Like, I think this is the first season I've seen them move around like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
The budget.
Budget is here.
Get a couple of Emmys and
sell out a few morals on the way, and you're good to go. You know.
Right.
you know, you catch some trauma on camera.
You bottle it and you sell it for large quantities of money. Awesome.
Yes.
Do some fracking on your land. You know, you're good to go.
Oh, the fracking.
Oh.
But is it fashion? So next week we are going into episode 5, Save a Queen.
Mm-hmm.
The synopsis is queens must make parody PSAs for a new charity supporting first eliminated drag queens, with queens Tempest du Jour, James Mansfield, and Kimora Hall.
When I tell you that they announced James Mansfield was coming back, I leapt off the couch in joy. James Mansfield's in my top 10 favorite queens of all times, and I'm so glad she's getting the airtime. And this is what I wanted to see. This is what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Absolutely. I need this to be the test run for an all-star run for James.
Season. Yeah.
I don't even need it to be early out. I just need to see James Mansfield.
I mean, this is
on
true.
All
They
Stars.
Serena Cha back. They can definitely bring back James Mansfield. There's a lot.
Honestly.
Plus, James's wigs are better. Anyway, I will also state that I am concerned with the amount of airtime Cornbread is getting. I am feeling like this is a red herring winner edit, and I don't think she makes it as far as we think she does. That is my conspiracy theory of the day. It feels like a Acid Betty sort of edit from season 8, because she was all over the first 4 episodes, and then the rug kind of gets pulled out from underneath us and she's suddenly gone.
Yep.
And so I would like my predictions to not be true. Right. I would really like to see Cornbread in the top 4, but it's a little.
Here's the thing: now. Your predictions have not been wrong yet.
Wait, what do you mean?
You, like, literally when we come to this slide and we talk about what our predictions are, you are, I mean, you've been correct. You are the drag Nostradamus.
I am the Cassandra. No one will believe me, but I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's a fun thing called Edgic, which is the logic of editing. It takes all the fun out of TV, but it does help make predictions, right? If you are into that.
Well, so next week is an improv challenge. Do we think Cornbread's going to be in danger on an improv challenge?
She needs to change up her comedy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Gave her the critique of like, just because it's big does not mean you have to go for the fat joke all the time.
Exactly.
Where was this criticism when Eureka was competing? Anytime she was competing. But that's regardless. We could do a whole video on your favoritism of Eureka O'Hara, but
yeah,
I digress.
So next week. So yeah, who do we think is going to do well in the improv challenge? I think Willow got that on lock.
Yeah.
Based on this week, I think Bosco has a good chance at doing really well next week.
Yeah. I think Maddie might surprise us too.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get at least one win out of Maddie before she goes, because she's not going to win. Yeah.
Yeah, they know the optics. Making the straight man win Drag Race is not going to happen.
No.
At least not when they're
not right now.
Trial run with a straight person on Drag Race.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's normalized,
right,
then it can happen.
Angeria is going to do well. My thing with Angeria is we've had a good number of like polished pageant queens win recently. With like Simone wasn't pageant, but she was definitely runway. Jada was pageant.
Jada was a pageant queen through.
And so I'm curious if Angie's a little too similar to recent winners we've had, that they might not let her win this time around.
Sure.
Just because if you look through all the Drag Race winners, the way they sequentially happen, each one is different than the previous one. And I think Drag Race likes to do that to not let their audience get worn out. So we'll see. Who I don't think is going to do well. I have a weird feeling about Orion because I think Orion is good at sketch comedy, but then her talent sent her home, which was sketch comedy. So it's like, I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about Lady Camden next week as well. I'm like, I don't know what to do with you.
Right.
So
yeah,
I
don't know.
we'll see.
As we currently stand, who do we think are our front runners? Like, who do we? Any changes?
Cornbread has kind of shifted out for me just a little bit because I'm a little sussed out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say top 4: Angie, Willow, Bosco, and Cam. Are they pushing Carrie over Cornbread though? Is that what we're doing?
I think Lady Camden's still a safe. Like,
Yeah.
I'm seeing like an underdog. Like, she's
Yeah.
kind of dang safe. We'll see her jump up at some point.
I would love if Orion makes it a lot further than any of us expected, but
Yeah.
with she's getting such little airtime that it's a little weird. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
yeah, I think that's everything.
Cool.
Yeah. That's about it today. We have new content that's being workshopped, and we'll let you know when there's a staple date on that, or maybe we'll just drop it as a surprise. Because
I was gonna say you'll get the notification when it comes through if you follow us.
If
you subscribe to this podcast,
follow us on iTunes or wherever fine podcasting is sold. Ding.
I was really proud of myself that I didn't make a you can call me he, she, Regis, and Kathy Lee so long as you listen to Lola on iTunes joke.
Should have done it though. I would have laughed hard. Go listen to Lola too, by the way.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm so proud
good.
of you, Jake. I know I've told you like
I'm
1,000
so
times that
Thank
I'm
you.
so proud of you, but I am.
It's been so fun.
Yeah.
But
oh, so go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna just say we've got Facebook. We're on Facebook now.
Yep.
We've got like a Facebook page.
Yeah, a proper Facebook page. Follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna plug this every episode.
I'm on Twitter now.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. Yeah, we both are now.
Yes. That is at musical_Myles. That is MUSICAL_MYLES. Go ahead and plug y'all Twitters too if you would like. Or
I don't know what mine is. Off the top
at Jake Jansen Music on pretty much any form of social media. If you type that in and I pop up, there you go.
Yeah. And you can just search my name, Amber Burke, and hopefully you'll find me.
If you Google Amber Burke, you'll get at least one wanted poster, and then
yikes.
Yep, exactly.
And yeah, great. And on that note, I would just leave you with a simple thumbs up about this episode, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side.
You're lucky I'm wearing my good bra.
Cat, out.